Interstellar Survey Probe Humunum. Historical Log Entry. Number 127,321. After having left Alpha Centauri, we have finally arrived at our next destination. Even at 1/4 the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, it has taken us 16 years to arrive here. The star of this system is a Class G yellow dwarf. There are 8 major planetary bodies in orbit around the star, and many smaller bodies. There are signs of developing intelligence on the third planet, and we have successfully tapped into their communication system to learn more about them. Traveling as fast as we are, our presence in this system will go undetected. The first 4 planets are rocky worlds, and the remaining 4 worlds are all gas giants. The life forms in this system call the first planet, Mercury. Circling so close to this star, Mercury has no atmosphere. It is a barren place. Extremely hot on the side facing the Sun, and extremely cold on the dark side. Mercury orbits the Sun at a distance of approximately 36 million miles. As we progress through the system, the next planet is Venus. Venus is a world with a thick carbon dioxide atmosphere. This has resulted in surface temperatures of over 900 degrees, hot enough to melt lead. Venus orbits the primary star at a distance of 67.2 million miles. Its atmosphere makes it extremely reflective and should be quite a prominent object in the sky of the third world life forms. The most advanced life forms on the third planet call it Earth. The fifth largest planet, more than 70% of its surface is covered with liquid water. Even at our remote distance, we can make out the blue of the oceans, white clouds, and land masses of brown and green. Earth teems with an abundance of life. The dominant life forms here call themselves humans. It appears they have only quite recently developed any sort of space travel. We will have to keep a close eye on them, but give them a wide berth until we know more about them. Earth orbits 92 million miles from its Sun and has one large moon. It takes the light from the Sun 8 minutes to reach Earth. The fourth planet of this system is called Mars, by the locals. They seem very interested in this world and appear to have sent a fair number of automated probes there. Mars has a thin atmosphere, but there is some water present. One can readily see ice caps at the poles. Being so far from the Sun, 143 million miles, Mars is too cold to support life, though it may have had a thicker atmosphere in the past. Mars has 2 small moons. There is a large distance between Mars and the next planet, called Jupiter. This area is filled with a good number of minor planets, called asteroids. These vary considerably in size, though the largest is nearly 600 miles in diameter. While there are thousands of these asteroids, the area in which they orbit is extremely vast, so as we move through this area, we barely notice the lifeless rocks floating out here. Jupiter, the 5th planet from the Sun, is easily seen in telescopes from a distance. It is the largest planet in the solar system. This world may not even have a rocky core, rather, it may simply be nothing more than a ball of gas. Even so, large storms clearly range across this planet's atmosphere, which is marked by distinct bands of brown and white clouds, and one large red spot, a hurricane, which has probably raged for hundreds of years. Jupiter has more than 53 moons of any noticeable size. Jupiter averages about 503 million miles from the primary star. Light from the star takes nearly 40 minutes to reach here. The next world, Saturn, is a rare and unmistakable planet. The second largest planet in the system, nearly a billion miles from the Sun, Saturn is encircled by many bright and noticeable rings, which makes it unique. These rings are comprised of small rocks and ice particles. Saturn also has more than 50 moons, some of which are volcanically active. One might even be able to support primitive life. Any probes which follow us should examine Saturn more closely. Light from the Sun takes more than 1 hour to reach all the way out here. After Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, the 7th and 8th worlds are somewhat unremarkable. They are two very similar gas giants, both equally large, but not as large as Saturn. They are the third and fourth largest planets here. Uranus is almost 2 billion miles from the Sun and Neptune nearly 3 billion. Both planets are veiled in thick atmospheres of gas, mostly hydrogen. Being so far from the Sun, they are cold worlds, almost invisible to the planets of the inner solar system. The last thing of note in the system, as we skip out to our next destination, is the body furthest from the Sun, but yet still of any appreciable size. The life forms on Planet 3 call it Pluto. Pluto is small, only 1,500 miles in diameter, a frozen world of ice and rock. This body orbits the central star at a distance of over 5 billion miles. It has a very unusual orbit, very inclined with respect to the other planets and highly elliptical. Light from this system star takes over 5 hours to reach out here on the edge of the solar system and the depth of space where comets live. After Pluto, there is little else between us and the next distant star, except for a thin cloud of comets. Comets are comprised of rock and ice left over from the formation of this solar system. Space is vast out here, so we do not expect to run into any of them. That's it for now. We are heading off into deep space on our way to our next survey system. We expect to arrive there in just about 20 years.